The Mississippi River Lake Pepin watershed is located in southeast Minnesota near the Wisconsin border. Our water body of focus is Lake Pepin, a naturally dammed portion of the Mississippi River located about 80 kilometers downstream from the Twin Cities metropolitan area. The largest cities on its shores are Pepin, Wisconsin, and Lake City, Minnesota. The main factors that affect the lake are global climate change, large-scale farming practices, urbanization, and its natural geologic vulnerability. These factors have led to agricultural runoff and increased stream flow, causing eutrophication, turbidity, and sedimentation. These changes have been detrimental to Lake Pepin's flora and fauna, recreation, boat access, and overall area revenue. We have identified potential connections between legislative bodies, upstream water bodies, municipalities, ecological management organizations, tourists, and area residents that may help address the issues facing Lake Pepin. During its geologic formation, the site was submerged by Glacier River Warren. After the river drained, what is now the Mississippi River was left. Sediment from the Chippewa River flowed into the Mississippi and dammed it, creating Lake Pepin. At that time, the lake extended as far north as St. Paul. At the head of the lake, sediments from the Mississippi eventually created a delta that reduced the span to its current state. The river valley has been home to the Dakota Sioux for hundreds of years. Historically, they fished from the confluence of rivers and hunted game on the prairies and woodlands. During early European colonization, small towns were settled along the shores of Lake Pepin. Lake Pepin area residents were typically involved in the logging industry, and farming was not yet commonplace in the area. Post-European settlement, large-scale farming spread throughout the region. At the same time, sedimentation rates in Lake Pepin began to increase. Human settlement expanded along Lake Pepin and in the northern Minnesota portion of the watershed. After the 1980s, the population within the watershed expanded rapidly. In cities like Apple Valley and Lakeville, farmlands were increasingly exchanged for large suburban developments. Today, we know that the watershed has lost up to 90% of its wetlands due to its development and subterranean tile drainage. At its current sedimentation rate, Lake Pepin is predicted to be filled in 340 years. The watershed will continue to face ecological, economical, and social challenges if its impaired waters are not addressed. Recreation in and around Lake Pepin is year-round. Residents and visitors enjoy the lake by ice fishing, water skiing, bird watching, swimming, hiking, and more. Restaurants and shops on both sides of the border utilize the scenic views to promote relaxation and tourism. What does a model of recreation that addresses Lake Pepin's human and ecological issues look like? How can the watershed's distinct categories of development, small town, suburban city, rural, be leveraged to become restorative to the region?